The insect overwinters in bag-like shelters constructed the previous year. Inside this bag is the case of a pupa left behind when the wingless female crawled out of the bag, fell to the ground, and died. This one had mated, and as she left the pupal case, she filled it with eggs, which now, in the late spring, are just beginning to hatch. In the complete darkness of the pupal case, tiny caterpillars squirm in a tangle of abdominal hair-like scales left behind by the ovipositing moth. Over the course of days, the caterpillars, as many as 800 of them, will find their way out, exiting through the openings at the bottom of the pupal case and the bag itself. After some effort, the small caterpillars find their way to the bottom of the bag and emerge. The caterpillars disperse by spinning down on silk threads, which are often carried by the wind to distant trees, a process known as ballooning. In this case, the caterpillars are lucky, dropping straight down onto a branch of the host tree. Some have already encased themselves with materials gleaned from the parent bag. If they fail to land on food, the caterpillars can pull themselves back up by winding the silk strand around their thoracic legs. In this case, the caterpillar has a hitchhiker and is having trouble climbing back up. Even before they begin to feed, the naked caterpillars, not quite 2 millimeters in length, construct a bag about their bodies. They do this by spinning a hoop of silk, which is securely fastened to the host tree. They then poke their head through it, surrounding themselves with a garland of silk to which they attach small pieces of the host leaf. The caterpillars have strong mandibles, but if the leaf is tough, they may have a hard time biting off the small pieces they need to construct the bag. Once the bag is completed, the caterpillar moves freely about the plant, seeking places to settle and feed. The bag of the caterpillar has 2 openings, one at the top that allows the caterpillar to feed and another at the bottom that allows it to rid the bag of waste. The upper neck of the bag is soft and flexible, an encircling ring of silk covered with small fragments of leaf material. This allows the caterpillar to tightly close the opening to securely seal itself within when resting. The caterpillar can also dart inside and quickly close the opening if a predator approaches. Unlike most caterpillars, bagworms lack functional abdominal prolegs and depend entirely on 3 sets of thoracic legs to move about while holding their bags high in the air above them. The waxy surface of the plant is slippery, requiring the caterpillar to spin a scaffolding of sticky silk which they engage with their thoracic claws, allowing them secure footing on the plant. If they do fall, the ever-present silk provides a lifeline that allows them to climb back onto the plant. The silk is extraordinarily strong, and it supports not only the weight of the small caterpillar, but that of the fully grown caterpillar and its heavy bag as well. Bagworms can be finicky feeders, and they move about the tree seeking the best leaves. Despite the fact that they must carry a heavy bag wherever they go, they're quite agile and can move readily from place to place. When they find a spot to feed, the first order of business is to securely fix their bag to the tree. They do this by attaching multiple strands of silk between the lip of the bag and a branch. Firmly secured, the caterpillar closes the bag and rests. Some hours later, it emerges from the bag and, stretching as far as it can, it begins to feed again. During these intermittent episodes of activity, the caterpillar also enlarges the bag by cutting and attaching fragments of leaves to the structure. After every episode of feeding, the caterpillar closes the bag and rests inside, largely secure from predators. When the bagworm has finished feeding in the fall of the year, it attaches the bag to a branch, spinning multiple strands of silk to form a strong band, then seals the upper opening. The bag is firmly attached as it must remain on the tree through the winter and the following spring. Studies of other species have shown that the attachment provided by the silk band may be as much as 700 times stronger than would be necessary to support the weight of the caterpillar and its bag alone. Once the bag is firmly attached, the larva pupates within the structure. This bag contains a male which has pupated with its head facing down to facilitate its escape from the bag when it emerges as a moth. This bag contains the pupa of a female. Removed from the pupal case, the adult female looks nothing like a typical moth, lacking both wings and functional legs. She is little more than a sack of eggs. The pupa of the female also faces down, and when the adult is fully developed, she splits open the head end of her case and emits a pheromone to attract the male. A male arrives, but now has the very difficult task of mating with the female. This is the case because the female is still within the pupal shell, and her genitalia are at the very top of the bag, seemingly out of reach of the male. The colored line in this diagram shows the long pathway that the tip of the abdomen of the male must follow to mate with the female. To deal with this predicament, the male has evolved a telescoping abdomen capable of extending to nearly 3 times its original length. This photograph from a paper published in 1927 shows how the abdomen of the male elongates to facilitate mating with the female. After she has mated, the female slowly deposits her eggs inside the pupal case as she gradually works her way out of the bag. Because she lacks functional legs, she moves by the peristaltic contractions of her abdomen. A single egg is shown being deposited from the tip of the ovipositor. In all, the female will deposit as many as 800 eggs as she slowly exits the bag. When fully exhausted, she falls to the ground and dies soon thereafter. Females that fail to attract a mate such as this one also work their way out of the bag and fall from the tree after several days of waiting. Lying helplessly on the ground, they are no longer attractive to males and soon perish without having laid any eggs.